Namo Buddhaya and a very warm welcome, dear Dharma friends, to our Sunday Dharma sharing sessions under our Dharma Dana lecture series. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Brother Eric, and I'll be your host for today. We are privileged to have with us Professor Vijitha Kumara from Sri Lanka as our speaker for today. Let us now bring Professor Vijitha Kumara online.
Yeah, Sukhiyo.
And welcome to our Facebook live page.
Thank you.
Okay. Let me do a short introduction on Professor Vijitha Kumara. Professor Vijitha Kumara is currently the Senior Lecturer of Buddhist Studies at the Department of Buddhist Studies, University of Colombo. Dr. Vijitha is also a lecturer for 5 years at the International PhD Program in Buddhist Studies, Department of Humanities, Faculties of Social Science and Humanities, Mahidol University, Thailand. He was also the Deputy Director at the Nana Samvara Center for Buddhist Studies, NCBS, Puto Monton, Naka Ponton, Thailand. Dr. Vijitha is currently a visiting lecturer at the Department of Pali and Buddhist Studies, University of Kelania, MA program on Buddhist literature and criticism, and also the Department of Pali and Buddhist Studies, University of Sri Jayawardenapura on Buddhist epistemology. Okay, today's topic is entitled Nekkhama Paramita, the cultivation of renunciation. With that, we welcome Professor Vijitha to deliver today's Dhamma sermon. Professor.
Yes. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. To have this opportunity for organizing this Dhamma sermon and inviting me to give a talk, especially on Nekkhama Paramita. I hope that all my Dhamma friends in Malaysia are well and happy and safe there. And with the bless of Triple Gems, I would like to start to share my talk in brief on the Nekkhama Paramita. Yes. Nekkhama Paramita. Before we start to discuss about Nekkhama Paramita, I think that already all you have learned about the perfections and why the perfections were introduced to the followers, the practitioners, and how all the perfections are to be practiced in our life. Because already you have listened to 2 talks, I hope that you have learned certain ideas, certain concepts regarding the concept of paramita. However, in my talk, I am going to explain in brief the background or the real meaning behind the term paramita with reference to the sub-commentary of Digha Nikaya. Because I believe that some of clarifications we come across in this sub-commentary will be very useful to understand what the paramita and how paramitas to be practiced according to the Theravada tradition. Paramita, the term paramita comes from with this first term that you are seeing here, pare. So pareva nibbane majjati sujjati sattecha sodheti. So paramitas are known to be a method to purify the beings. So majjati means polish, sujjati means cleans, sodheti means purifies. So the beings can be purified by practicing paramita. So that quality consisted of paramita. That is the first point we should understand. And also, all the beings who are expecting final liberation, ultimate releasement, they are tied up and they are bound and employed in this practice. It means to the paramita. And also they are going with these paramitas and they are working for these paramitas. Especially by practicing paramita, we can kill all the kilesas, all the defilements connected to the beings. So that is a knowledge. Firstly, we should understand what I explained was a knowledge. Knowledge cannot be used to attain Nibbana. So knowledge is not enough. We need certain practices. Therefore, if you can see here, the colored two terms, tassa bhavo, because you also have used cultivation of Nekkhama, cultivation of renunciation. So bhava here means cultivation. We have to cultivate. We have to cultivate these perfections. And we have to engage in those perfections. So that quality must be practiced as practitioners. Otherwise, the knowledge on paramita will not be sufficient to be released from samsara. So that is the first point what I wanted to communicate in the beginning. And all the paramitas are starting with dana, and there are 10 paramitas. But as Theravada Buddhist, the first question came to my mind was whether we are following actually the true Theravada teachings as Theravada Buddhist followers, especially regarding the paramitas, perfections. Because though we are Theravada followers, almost all the Theravadins are holding perfections according to Mahayana teachings. That is why, in fact, I wanted to give a talk on Nekkhama Paramita, because when I was invited by Bhante Vijitha, then I explained why I wanted to talk about Nekkhama, because Theravadins must follow and practice in different way from Mahayana practitioners, especially when they are following or practicing paramitas. So the reason can be clearly understood when we are examining the real background behind the perfection of Nekkhama, perfection of renunciation. Right, now you can see that I have used here two terms. Mahayanists are following 6 perfections. They are following 6 perfections. Theravadins are following 10 perfections. The specification of Theravadins is that they have introduced Nekkhama Paramita as an additional perfection, because Nekkhama Paramita cannot be found in the 6 perfections. You cannot see Nekkhama Paramita in the 6 perfections of Mahayana tradition. However, no need to hang up a view that 6 perfections or the concept of 6 perfections came to exist in the Mahayana tradition only, because the commentary of Charyapitaka has mentioned that Theravada tradition also in one stage accepted 6 perfections, and later on this number 6 came to be appeared in Mahayana, and it became more popular among the Mahayana followers. But later on, Theravadins introduced 10, and the commentator of Charyapitaka says, Nekkhama perfection, the cultivation of renunciation, is coming under the Sila when we are counting the perfections as 6. Right. If we are considering that there are 6 perfections, then Nekkhama perfection, Nekkhama cultivation is coming under the Sila. It includes that Nekkhama also comes under Sila perfection. That is the explanation from the commentator. But here I want to highlight that as Theravada people, as Theravada followers, how can we practice Nekkhama Paramita, or the cultivation of renunciation? Definitely, when we are following or when we are practicing Nekkhama perfection, we must maintain our Theravada view, Theravada vision separately from Mahayana. We should not mix up the Mahayana views when we are practicing Nekkhama Paramita. So that is why I was interested in giving a talk on this topic. Right. Before we are coming to the point of Nekkhama Paramita, I would like to give some hints or some explanations about the concept of Nekkhama. Nekkhama can be found in the second noble path of the 8 noble path. It means under the Samma Sankappa. Under the right intention, there are 3 intentions to be practiced, to be developed. They are Nekkhama, Avyapada, Avihimsa. Now, I think it would be nice if you can understand these 3 with their opposite concepts. Here you can see Nekkhama and Kama. So the opposite term for Nekkhama is Kama. So we have to understand the Kama, and we have to leave from Kama. And Avyapada is the concept, right intention, and Vyapada is the opposite intention, wrong intention. Avihimsa is the right intention. Himsa is the wrong intention. So, Nekkhama has to be understood here, referring to the karma. When you are understanding the real range of the concept of karma, then it will be helpful to practice Nekkhama. Without understanding the limitation of karma, the range of karma, you cannot practice Nekkhama. That is why I here used the Samma Sankappa. I presented Samma Sankappa and pointed out the karma as opposite concept to Nekkhama. Especially here, I think I should give some additional information when we are examining the Nirdesas. Nirdesas are giving additional explanations on karma. There are two types of karmas. One is Vattu karma, the second, another one is Kilesa karma. Karmas mean here desires. So we are maintaining desires. So the desires can be categorized into three mainly. The first category is we are attaching to the external objects by using our five faculties. By using the eye, we desire to see the objects. Then we attach to the forms by using our eye faculty. We attach to the sounds by using our ear faculty. We attach to the smell by using our nose faculty. We attach to the taste by using our tongue faculty. We attach to the uh, contacts by using our faculty of body. That is first category. In the first category, we are using our faculties and we are dealing with external world by using our faculties, and we are attaching to the external world, external objects, and that they are the first category of Vattu Kama. The second category is immovable objects. So we are attaching to the immovable objects. Especially we love to gain more money. We love to gain more ornaments. We love to gain more lands, paddy fields, like that. So the people are attaching to the material objects which are not which cannot be moved. In addition to these two categories, the third one is movable beings or movable things. Under the movable things, we can understand the servants, animals, like those beings. So we are attaching to the servants and we are expecting to have more servants, lot of servants and lot of animals in our farms. So therefore we maintain and develop karma referring to the objects. They are called as Vattu karma. The second type of karma is Kilesa karma. They are connected to our inner thoughts. So Chandaraga, Sankapparaga, Kamachand, like those thoughts. Especially among these terms, I would like to highlight the last one. The last one was Kamachanda. I think that all you know, Kamachanda is the first hindrance among 5 hindrances. So Kamachanda is covering the Nibbana because it is a hindrance. Because hindrance or Nivarana means the concepts or the uh, immoral practices or the concepts which are covering the Nibbana. So here Kama Chanda is covering Nibbana. Therefore, definitely we need to give out. We must give out. We must detach all those karmas and we must search for the Nibbana. If we are practicing for Nibbana, if we are working for Nibbana, definitely we should firstly recognize what the karmas are, and secondly, we must leave from the karmas. We must give out from the karmas, and that practice is known as Nekkhama. So, in the noble eightfold path, here it is an intention. So please keep in mind that this is an intention. So psychologically, you must change your attitude here. In fact, in the second step of Aryattangika Magga, you are changing your way of thinking. You are changing your attitude. You are changing your psychological condition. It means that further you have to practice on the Nekkhama. So here you are practicing Nekkhama psychologically only. Physically, you have to practice it further in another step. Therefore, I think now it is clear for you that how to understand the karmas and how to uh, remove the karmas and detach the karmas and go away from the karmas. And if you need more information, I think you can find out more information from Arya Pariyesana Sutta to understand what relevance is there with those Vattu Kama and Kilesa Kamas, especially Vattu Kamas. Right. Here we understood that the Nekkhama should be understood as a psychological changes, as a psychological changing. Now, when we are examining some of other commentarial explanations, here we can see that Kamana metan nissaranam yadidan nekkamma, yes, nekkamma. So here, nekkamma is interpreted with reference to the practice of nissarana. So Nissarana means going out. So we are going out from the attachments, from the uh, attached concepts. So here it is very interesting to learn and understand because you can see Asubha Jhanam Kamehi Nissatatta Kamana Nissarananti Akkatang. Yo panatang jhanang padakang katva sankhare sammasanto tatyang maggang patva anagami palena nibbanang disva punakama nama nattiti janati. The person who is leaving out or who is going out the attachments, the karmas, he is turning his practice into the noble practice. Here it says the practitioner comes to the third magga, third path. Third path means anagami path. Here, the real practitioner who is practicing Nekkhama is reach into anagami phala, the fruit of non-returner. The fruit of non-returner. So one who is practicing truly Nekkhama, he can become a non-returner. So that is the specification of Theravada teaching, Theravada tradition. I will give the I will summarize why I have highlighted here Nissarana and this Anagami Phala or the fruit of non-return in regarding this Nekkhama concept. So the second point I took here was the Nekkhama concept is to be understood with referring to the concept of Nissarana too. The third point is it is connecting to the Samatha Bhavana, Samatha meditation. When we are practicing Samatha meditation, the first step is Patama Jhana. So to develop Patama Jhana, we have to remove the concept of karmas, the attachments. We have to remove the attachments. Therefore, the suttas have recorded, and some other commentaries also have elaborated the practice. So vivicceva kamehi vivicca akusalehi dhammehi savitakkan savicharam vivekajam piti sukham patama jhanam upasampacca viharati. So the first practice of this patama jhana, when we are when we are obtaining the first absorption, then definitely we must detach the karmas. We must detach the karmas. Detaching the karmas, detaching the attachment, detaching the desired objects, we can practice Nekkhama. So when we are understanding the concept of Nekkhama, it should be understood with reference to the Samatha meditation, especially the first absorption. Not only Samatha meditation, in certain observations of the commentaries, we can find out that the practice of Nekkhama leads us to Vipassana too. Not only Samatha meditation, but also Vipassana meditation. So if you can read this, then you can read and understand clearly. Gehasitani kama guna nissitani. Gehasita means worldly life. So worldly life is associated by karmas. Worldly life is associated by the karmas, desires. But Nekkhama sitani vipassana nissitani. Nekkhama sitani iti vipassana nissitani. If we are leaving the karmas, if we are going away from the karmas, then that will be the Nekkhama practice. But that Nekkhama practice is completely leading to the insight meditation. Therefore, we should understand clearly our Paramita, Nekkhama Paramita is connected not only to Samatha Bhavana, Samatha meditation, but also Vipassana meditation according to the commentary of Majjhima Nikaya. When we are examining further the commentarial explanations, especially the commentary of the Anguttara Nikaya, it gives the common interpretation and the most well-known interpretation. This is the well-known idea that you know that Nekkhama Sukha, or the happiness from renunciation, is coming from Pabbajja. Pabbajja means uh, renunciation. Renunciation should be understood through two different perspectives. Here, we can understand it physically, leaving from the home and becoming a monk. A person can leave the home and become a monk, and he can wander place to place. He can wander place to place. He has no any attachment to a place. He has no any attachment to a being or thing, matter. Why? Because Pabbajja, the term Pabbajja is derived from the root of Vaja. Vaja is meant wandering place to place. That is the physical appearance of Pabbajja. But not only it doesn't give uh, it doesn't give the physical uh, appearance only, it gives the psychological interpretation too. That is the Vaja, the root Vaja gives another meaning. That meaning is giving up. So Pabbajja means giving up, abandoning. So it can be done physically as well as psychologically. So we can practice to give up even psychologically. If we have attached to the desires, then we can psychologically give up all those desires. So that is also a type of pabbajja. That is also type of pabbajja, not a physical pabbajja, but psychological pabbajja. So we need physical pabbajja as well as psychological pabbajja, because anyone can leave from the house, leave from the home, but he needs he needs uh, some developments, psychological developments, to reach to perfect Nekkhama Paramita. Okay, then especially, yes, finally, I want to give one small uh, quotation. It is from Samyutta Nikaya Tika, this from sub-commentary of the Samyutta Nikaya. According to this quotation, Nekkhama Paramita, or the practice of Nekkhama, leads to directly ninefold supramundane dhammas. Ninefold supramundane dhammas means Sotapanna Magga, Sotapanna Phala, Sakadagami Magga, Sakadagami Phala, Anagami Magga, Anagami Phala, Arahanta Magga, Arahanta Phala, and Nibbana. Then there are nine. So this sub-commentary clearly mentions that the practice of Nekkhama, practice of renunciation, is leading to ninefold supramundane dhammas. Right. Now you have heard, you have listened to the sub-commentaries, commentaries, and some other uh, teachings of the suttas. When we take all these uh, references, all these commentarial explanations as the views of Theravada, as the views of Theravada, as the views of Theravada teachers, then we can understand that renunciation has to be understood under these 4 points. Renunciation can be practiced changing your attitudes. So we need attitudinal changes. We must turn our mind from the direction of karma to leaving the karmas. The second point is we can practice renunciation by practicing samatha meditation. By practicing samatha meditation also, we can cultivate the concept of Nekkhama. We can cultivate the perfection of Nekkhama. The third one is by practicing insight meditation also, we can cultivate the perfection of Nekkhama. The last one, it is completely referring to this concept, this interpretation. Uh, Live in the home. So you can physically leave the home, and you can give up physical gaining also. So giving up physical uh, things, physical objects, and leaving from physically from the home, it also can be interpreted as the practice of Nekkhama. Therefore, we can finally uh, come to a conclusion. We can set up a conclusion, or we can understand clearly, having summarized all the ideas from the commentaries, from the Theravada references, Theravada text. If it is understood with vipassana and ninefold supramundane dhammas, this cultivation could be limited to this life only. Why I am saying like this? As I explained in the beginning, the Buddhist practitioners, especially Theravada Buddhist practitioners, have mixed their concept of parami or paramita with Mahayana teachings. If we are accepting the Mahayana teachings, all we are trying to become a bodhisattvas. All we are trying to become bodhisattvas. So bodhisattvas are expecting to be a Buddha one day, and they are expecting to stay in the samsara. They need, or they are expecting long-term journey in the samsara. One he who is expecting long-term journey in the samsara, he is not trying to overcome all the defilements in this life itself. But according to Theravada tradition, now it is very clear to you that by practicing Nekkhama Paramita, we can become an Arahant in this life itself. Without expecting long-term journey in the samsara, by practicing this paramita, this perfection, all we can reach to anagami or any other noble fruit by practicing Nekkamma Paramita. Therefore, no need to mix up the Nekkamma Paramita with Mahayana concepts. Better if it is possible to understand clearly with the viewpoints of Theravada interpretations, that this practice will be helping to you to reach to nibbana and free from all these attachments, free from this samsara in this life itself. The rest of would connect to the practice in samsara. Rest of means, as we discussed, like this practice. Okay, if you are expecting to practice and practice Nekkamma concept or Nekkamma Paramita in this life as well as in the future lives, then you can start it becoming a monk, leaving from the home, and you can continue that practice in future births also. So that is also possible. There is no any any barrier to practice that also. So if anyone is interested in working for Nibbana in this life itself, I think the practice in Nekkhama Paramita will be very useful for him because it guides us how to be freed from samsara in this life itself. Suchirantittatu Dhammo. This is the wish. This is the this is a quotation from Sammoha Vinodani, the Vibhanga commentary. So I believe that Theravada Dhamma, Theravada teaching is giving light us to practice perfectly the perfection of renunciation. Thank you very much for listening to this, and your questions are welcome. Yes, the one question is here. He is expecting some answer for. Yes, he is asking to explain the how craving and ignorance are giving us suffering. Yes, especially the cravings and ignorance. So I think cravings are maintained by us because of ignorance, because we do not know the Four Noble Truths. So, because of ignorance, we are attaching to the we are maintaining the uh, attachments. We are maintaining the tanha. So, because we have we are attached to tanha, we are attached to the uh, lust or attachments, the result is suffering. According to the Four Noble Truths, it is very clear that the cause of suffering is the attachments. The cause of suffering is attachments, therefore, the cravings or the attachments are leading the suffering as the results of cravings. We are experiencing suffering. For instance, uh, in day-to-day life, we are expecting a lot of things. We are expecting the money or some other gainings, but all the physical gainings are giving lot of psychological issues, lot of psychological problems. Uh, according as I have seen in the Tipitaka, the best layperson was Dhanya, because he was the most happiest layperson uh, we found in the Suttanta Pitaka. Though he was the most happiest layperson who was satisfied with his family life, his lay life, all the gainings, all the attachments, all the cravings, what he gathered, gave some suffering to him. So Buddha explained clearly that Buddha had rejected, or Buddha had left all the attachments, but Danya was maintaining the attachments. So as the lay people, all we are maintaining the cravings and ignorance. Those cravings and ignorances are leading to suffering. So that is the connection with cravings and suffering. So because we do not know Four Noble Truths, we are attaching to the world, and we are uh, extending our tanha. As I understand this question, yes, as the lay people also we can live, but there are some limitations. Practically, when we are leaving when we are leaving from the physical things, Lay people have to maintain certain bondages. But monks are known as swans. Monks are compared to the swans because the monks have no bondages. They have no lot of things to be maintained, and their life is like a swan. Though we are practicing the Dhamma in the lay life, uh, certain bondages have to be maintained because if yes, as okay, to me, I am a father, so I have to play a role as a father. So, like that, we have certain bondages to be maintained. Therefore, some of to certain extent we can get rid of the physical attachments, but to perfectly remove those attachments, the leaving the home will be help to us. However, sometimes perfect lay person also can completely uh, detaches from the attachments without going away from the lay life, going away from the house. So it's up to his practice, his way of thinking, and the speed of change in his attitude towards Nekkhama. Yes, that is true because the memories attaching to memories is also giving lot of suffering. According to the explanations of this commentaries, uh, the views, these memories, in fact, memories are changing up to views. Those views are giving severe suffering to us. In fact, it is easy to get rid of physical things. It easily we can leave out the physical things, but we are unable to comfortably leave the our views because the views are dependent on our memory or our personal knowledge. Definitely, we must get rid of the memories also, but it is a deep philosophical. There must be a deep philosophical discussion regarding this memory, because there were a lot of arguments, a lot of discussions among the scholars in the schools regarding that memory. But if we can reduce the attachments connected to the memory also, then we can live happily than attaching to those memories, because the memories attaching to memories are also giving a lot of burdensomes, psychological burdensomes. Yes, we can balance the worldly life with our family to certain extent, because all we can't renounce the house, all we can't leave the house. uh, if it is possible, then that would be nice, but as lay people we have to balance it. That should balancing should be uh, referring to the moral practice, especially moral practice. So morally we can gain money, we can earn money, we can earn properties, and then there will be certain satisfactoriness. Like I explained how Danya experience satisfactoriness and the happiness. So we can be happy living with those physical things or physical gainings, but the perfect perfect happiness, or the happiness from Nekkham, happiness from going out, will be greater than the happiness depending on the lay life. So yes, in Mahayana there are right. And what is the equivalent in Theravada? You mentioned Theravada, we can attend Nibbana. Yes, in Mahayana, then they believe Buddhayana. Their main point is to become a Buddha. Their main point was to become a Buddha. But as Theravadins, we believe that we can be released people, we can be released beings, by becoming arahants also, becoming arahants. So to become a Buddha, we need to practice bodhisattva practices. We must practice bodhisattva practices, bodhisattva vows for long time, and we should wait for number of existences in the samsara. But as Theravadins, because as Theravadins we believe that arahants are removing all the they are destroying all the defilements, they are overcoming all the defilements in this life itself. So there is a possibility to destroy all the defilements in this life itself. It means that we do not want to wait for number of existence in the samsara to become a Buddha, as how Mahayanista thinking or Mahayanista believing. So in Theravada tradition, we believe that it is possible to achieve in this life itself. So I think the concept of Nekkhama is supporting us to encourage the people to practice, courage to people to experience Nibbana in this life itself. Is that what I do? In fact, this was okay. Ang Li Kai. So it was explained clearly in the Samyutta Nikaya, Kassapa Samyutta, that the answer is depending on Paticca Samuppada. So everything must be understood through Paticca Samuppada. We cannot say that I am experiencing or I am receiving the outcomes of all the kammas what I have done, and that there could be some views of views of eternalist view or annihilationist view. So therefore the Buddha taught us to think about such kind of things through the Paticca Samuppada. Therefore I think better to understand Paticca Samuppada clearly, then we can find a clear-cut answer for such kind of doubts. Okay, attitudinal change. Attitudinal change means that naturally all we are attaching to the worldly things. Naturally, all we are loving to entertain. No, entertain our tongue. We are trying to taste different taste. We are trying to see different movies, so different beautiful things. So always we are trying to experience the attachments. We are not satisfied with what we have seen or what we have eaten or what we have listened. So therefore we are searching for a lot of different things. Therefore that practice is leading us to samsara. We are bound to samsara because of such kind of practice. But if we can change our attitude not to follow the forms through my eye, not to attach to the sounds what I am hearing, not to attach to the taste what I am tasting. So if we can change in fact, we can start that practice. Okay, we can start that practice by changing our attitude. If I have changed my attitude, yes, I should start not to attach or not to follow the taste, not to follow the beautiful, to see beautiful things uh, from today. Like that, we can change our mind first. The change in the mind will help us to leave from the attached world. Yes, it is euthanasia. The question is related to euthanasia. Definitely, uh, honestly, I should say that I am unable to answer to this question because, uh, uh, as a Buddhist, we can't courage to kill someone, or we can't give the permission to kill himself or to others. Uh, I understand your question clearly, but the problem is that as a Buddhist, I cannot courage to that, and I can't say that it is correct or it is wrong, because truly I am unable to answer to such kind of question, because it is an ethical question, and I should give an ethical answer, and definitely we need a long time, more time to discuss about that. Reborn mind consciousness karmic and yes, this is okay. Yes, your question is very clear that we do not believe that the same person is uh, having the same birth in the next life. So we don't say that there is a rebirth. Then it is not a rebirth; it is re-existence. So we do not believe that same person is going birth to birth, and we do not say that a different person is also going to birth. So this is to be understood through through causality, cause and effect theory. And if you can carefully examine the one link among the 12 link, Vijnana Pachya Nama Rupa, the connection between the Vijnana and name and form, I think this can be clearly understood that the same person is not having the birth in the next life, and a different person is not having the having a birth in the next life. And definitely there are sankaras, they are volitions, and the changed consciousness, then not same consciousness, changed consciousness is coming into the next birth as birth consciousness. Because especially we should understand the birth consciousness, what the beings are having in their next birth. So birth consciousness is the key point to be understood there, uh, because there are two different consciousnesses, uh, karmic consciousness and birth consciousness. So if we can understand clearly the birth consciousness, then we can uh, get a clear cut idea about that question. Yeah, Pratitya Samutpada is in Sanskrit. Yes, Paticca Samuppada in Pali. Yes, that is the form in Sanskrit. Okay, thank you for your questions.
So before we conclude, we would like to invite Professor Vijitha to share the merits accrued with all the devas and our departed loved ones.
Yes, shall we share the merits to our relations and all the devas, what we have gained today by listening to the Dhamma sermon and sharing the Dhamma ideas? Please recite this with me. Idamme ñātīnaṁ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñātīnaṁ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Idamme ñātīnaṁ hotu sukita hontu ñātayo. Ākāsattā ca bhummattā devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṁ anumoditvā ciran rakkantu sāsanam. Ākāsattā ca bhummattā devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṁ anumoditvā ciran rakkantu desanam. Ākāsattā ca bhummattā devānāgā mahiddhikā puññantaṁ anumoditvā ciran rakkantu tvam sada. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. Now we have come to our end of our Dhamma sharing. On behalf of Buddhist Mahavihara, we would like to take this opportunity to extend our highest thanks to Professor Vijitha Kumara, also to our generous sponsors and to all our audiences present today. Okay. May all be well, peaceful and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.